Okay, so morphology of flowering plants, right? We are going to study the root, the stem, the leaf, the inflorescence, the flower, the fruit, the seed, semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant, and description of some important families, right? Only Solanaceae. Morphology of flowering plants. So there is a morphology. Morphology is just the external structure or morphology, right? Then okay, the underground part of the flowering plant is the root system, while the portion above the ground forms the shoot system, right? Okay, all of them have roots, stems, and leaves. They may be bearing flowers and fruits, right? Now, talking about the root. Okay, majority of dicot plants direct elongation of the radical leads to the formation of primary root, which grows inside the soil. Okay, it bears lateral or roots of several orders that are referred to as secondary, tertiary roots, right? The primary roots and its branches constitute the taproot system as seen in the master plant, and it is these are the majority of dicot plants. They show the taproot system, and in monocot plants the primary root is short-lived and is replaced by a large number of roots. It's kind of tough, it's kind of bundles, right? These roots originate from the base of the stem and constitute the fibrous root system. It's kinds of minute fibers at the same time at the same place as seen in the wheat plant. Wheat plant is a monocot. So in some plants like grass, monstera, and banyan tree, this shows the adventitious roots. Now what it happens, roots arise from parts of the plant other than the radical it as the tip other than the radical. Then roots arise from the parts of the plant other than the radical. So these are the adventitious roots. Examples are grass, monstera, and banyan tree, right? The main functions of the root systems are absorption of water, minerals from soil, providing a proper anchorage to the plant parts, storing reserve food material, and synthesis of plant growth regulators. So you can see up above the ground it is shoot system. It consists of flower, fruit, stem, leaf, bud, and node and internode. And then below the ground level it is primary root, secondary root, that is root system. It can be taproot system, or it can be fibrous root system, or it can be adventitious root system, but it's shown is the taproot system because there is primary root, secondary root. Okay, now this one is the different types of roots. First one is the taproot, right? First in the taproot system, that is lateral roots are given, the main root is given. Now fibrous roots, it's the top of roots, okay, at the same place. And this is the adventitious, other than the radical, maybe over on the stem or something like that. So this is the adventitious roots, right? Now the second part is regions of the root. Now the root is covered at the apex by a thimble-like structure called the root cap. Now it protects the tender apex of the, why it is, because it protects the tender apex of the root as it makes its through the soil. A few millimeter above the root cap is the region of the meristematic activity, and you can see at the tip it is root cap. Then there is a region of meristematic activity, and the cells of this region are very small, thin wall with dense protoplasm, and they divide repeatedly. The cells proximal to this region undergo rapid elongation and enlargement and are responsible for the growth of the root in the length. We are talking about the region of elongation. This region is called region of elongation. The cells of the elongation zone. Now these cells of the elongation zone, that is above the region of meristematic activity, they gradually, they gradually differentiate and mature. Hence this zone proximal to the region of elongation is called the region of maturation. From this region some of the epidermal cells form very fine and delicate thread-like structure called root hairs. These root hairs absorb water and minerals from the soil. So these are the root hairs, and this is the region of maturation, the region of elongation, the region of meristematic activity, and at the tip it is the root cap. So region of the root tip, the regions of the root tip. So now the stem. So stem, what is the stem? Like the stem is the ascending, that is the upward part of the above the soil, ascending part of the axis, bearing branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. It develops from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed. The stem bears nodes and internodes. The region of the stem where leaves are born are called nodes. So nodes is the place where the leaves gets attached, leaves gets born. while the internodes are the portions between two nodes. So in internode there is no formation of leaves. Okay, the stem bears buds which may be terminal or axillary. Stem is generally green when young, later become often woody and dark brown. Okay, the main function of the stem is spreading out branches bearing leaves, flowers and fruits. It conducts water, minerals and photosynthesis. Some stems perform the function of storage of food, support, protection and vegetative propagation. So stem also involved in the vegetative propagation. Now the leaf. The leaf is a lateral, generally flattened structure borne on the stem. It develops at the node, bears a bud in its axil. The axillary bud later develops into a branch. Now this axillary bud gets developed into a branch. The leaves originate from shoot apical meristems are arranged in an acropetal order. The leaves originate from shoot apical meristem. They are arranged in an acropetal order. Means the younger leaves at the bottom and the older leaves at the younger leaves at the top, so they get continuous growing, and at the bottom there is a old leaves. So they are most important vegetative organs for the photosynthesis. So leaf is the most important organ for photosynthesis, not stem. Okay, but stem also involved in the vegetative propagation. Now a typical leaf consists of three main, that is leaf base, petiole and lamina. The leaf base is attached to the stem by the leaf base may bear two lateral small leaf-like structures called stipules. In monocot, the leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially or wholly. So this is in monocots, and in some leguminous plants the leaf base may become swollen, which is called the pulvinus. In some leguminous plants the leaf base becomes swollen, and which is called the pulvinus. The petiole hold the leaf blade. Okay, it helps in the to flutter in wind, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing fresh air to a leaf surface. The lamina or the leaf blade is a green expanded part of the leaf with veins and veinlets. Now there is usually a middle prominent vein which is known as the midwave. And okay, the shape, margin, apex, surface and extent of incision of lamina varies in different leaves. Now this is the lamina stipule. Like stipule, this is two lateral small leaf like structures called stipule. Okay, and then there is axillary bud. There is formation of like maybe the branch or something. There is petiole, then leaf base, right? Now this structure of a leaf, parts of a leaf: reticulate venation in the B and C, that is parallel venation. So these are two, like venation. The arrangement of veins and veinlets in the lamina of leaf is termed as venation. The veinlets form a network. The venation is termed as reticulate. When veinlets form a network, it is reticulate. When the veins run parallel to each other within a lamina, the venation is termed as the parallel. The leaves of dicot plants generally possess reticulate venation, while the parallel venation is a characteristic of most monocot. Okay. Now the types of leaves. Like a leaf is said to be simple when its lamella is not inside, is do not touch the midrib, right? When the when the lamina touch the midrib, it gets formed the number of leaflets, and that is the compound. And in the number of leaflets, a bud is present in the axil of petiole in both in both in both simple and compound leaves, but not in the axil of leaflets of the compound leaf. You can see in here. In neem there is no axial verse in every leaflets, right? That's what it says. Compound leaves, first one is the pinnately leaf, and second one is the palminately leaf, that is silk cotton. So the compound leaves may be of two types. Now compound leaves is first one is pinnately compound leaf. First one is the pinnately compound leaf, like number of leaflets are present on a common axis. The rachis, which is a midrib, which represents the midrib of the leaf as in the neem. And then in palmately compound leaves, the leaflets are attached at a common point, that is at the tip of the petiole, as in the silk cotton. Okay, as in the silk cotton. So compound leaf, there are two types of compound leaf: pinnately compound leaf, example neem, and palmately compound leaf, that is the palmately compound